Are you saying that we're on a breakdown?
We're not having a breakdown.
I'd eaten sheep's intestines stuffed with rice.
It didn't go well, basically.
I don't want to do this anymore.
The view from the room was
was-
of a slum. I think I would rather be in the UK right now. Hello and welcome back to the Dare to Venture podcast with your host, Chris.
And me, Tamira.
Welcome to episode number 6. We made it. Episode 6, the finale of the first season ever. We made it. Like, how do you feel?
Exhausted staying up till 2 a.m. doing these podcasts. But no, I feel really good and actually really enjoy it. And at least our useless chats that we have together, hopefully people are enjoying them because we're recording them.
Literally every week it's the same time. It's like 11 o'clock
No,
start.
it's later this week.
We're slightly later this week, but it's 11 o'clock start roughly and a 2 a.m. finish. Horrific on the timing, but we are committed and we have delivered.
Well,
Okay.
hopefully we're going to deliver.
We've delivered. This is the finale. It's done.
Well, we've enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
I really hope that other people enjoy listening
Yes.
to us.
Well, all of the feedback, everyone who's messaged us and let us know what you're thinking about the podcast, it's really meant a lot. I've seen those 5-star reviews come in on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. It literally means so much. Like, it makes us so happy when we see the response and the reviews and everything like that. And our YouTube channel is doing really well, the Dare to Venture podcast YouTube channel. And the last episode was the biggest episode yet. And it was a China episode, of course. So that's just hit 3,000 views, which is really, really good. We're super happy. So yeah, episode number 6 coming your way, the finale.
So what we're going to talk about today is going to be, was it all worth it? We've kind of told our story about why we made the decision, how things happened for us, how we did content creation, everything like that. And today we're just going to go through, was it really worth it? And we spoke about in the first episode ever that we've had some really bad lows, and we have done. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of those. And we've had some really big highs as well. So we're going to talk about some of those included in this. And then we want to really later on put a big feature of, we've asked you guys lots of questions on all about different
Platforms.
yeah, I don't know why that word just floated away from me. But we asked if there's anyone got any questions. We've got quite a few to go through, so we're going to go through all of those. Well, as many as we possibly can.
Yeah, because we got quite a lot.
Yeah.
We got quite a lot, which was, again, we're so thankful. People are watching, listening, and we've got the questions. So we've got them ready to answer
Yes.
a little bit later on. But yes, we're going to be talking about, did we regret making the decision, the big decision? And we get so many messages all the time about people thinking about doing what we've done, even if it's taking 6 months out or 12 months out, and sort of asking us different things about it. So we did make that decision. We did go for it. We sold everything. Do we regret it? And that's going to be the main feature of today. And like we were saying, the past 5 episodes have been basically our story. So if you haven't listened to any or watched any over on YouTube, go check them out if there's anything you want to know, because we've gone through right from the start making the decision, things that have happened to us along the way, different things, and each episode has told kind of our story.
Yes. So we're kind of at the point now of going, was it really worth it? But we're going to be probably the most truthful that we've ever been, because when we're doing YouTube, when we're doing TikTok, we always put a bit of a shine on it.
And that's what this podcast is all about. It's about the real, the coming behind the scenes, being a bit of a fly on the wall to us talking, and really...
Because we do have these conversations.
Yeah.
We do talk about, oh my goodness, was it worth it? Wow, what have we done? And we will go through that more. But first off, we need to go through what is new this week, Chris.
What's new this week? This is where
You're awful at this.
I was at a black spot at this point.
I kind of know what's new with us. Chris has no idea what's new with us. So, Chris, do you know what's new with us?
I kind of let you get on with this bit, okay?
Oh.
You do the family roundup.
Okay, so what is new with us? And this is really exciting. We're coming up to nearly our last week being here in Penang at our home base. And we have really got to grips with our travel plans. And we have got really carried away with what we're doing. And we're really excited about it. So we've kind of there's been a lot of discussions, a lot
of discussions, and we had set something up, and then
It's
like
changed.
last week that changed to something else, and it's just slightly changed around a little bit. But this week we finally solidified the plans and the content that's going to be coming, and it's pretty exciting. I'm excited about it.
It's really exciting.
It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hard. It's going to be like a roller coaster, but it's exciting.
It's exciting. We're really excited about that. So that's taken up a lot of our time, a lot of discussions. I think very mundanely, we've been getting through life of the children doing their new school, going to the gym, going to CrossFit as per normal.
Yep.
But the girls also, because we're coming up to the closing weeks of being here in the residence that we stay in, the girls have actually met some really good friends here. So we've been going quite often down to the pool and the play park here, and the girls are playing with their friends, because what happens in these situations when you live like this, of no moment of you being here is ever exactly the same. So the friends that are here at this occasion are here at this occasion. Sometimes some of them come back and the timing aligns, or they might come back months down the line. So we're kind of like this week, the girls have been going down and playing with their friends that they've newly made on this phase of being here.
What you kind of find is that you meet people in different segments, and you might meet them again down the line if they're doing this thing. Or some people are genuinely just on a holiday for the period we're here, and then we don't see them again. The girls are really used to that, so they make friends, and then they either follow each other online or on
through Roblox.
Yeah, Roblox most of the time.
Yeah.
And they stay in touch that way. But it's just how it is. Like when you live in this lifestyle, you meet loads of people say to us, how do the girls socialize? They're constantly socializing. And they've made some really good friends that will continue to be friends, whether they see them physically or they just stay in contact digitally from now on. That can happen. But yeah, we do bump into families later down the line as well, and
sometimes in different countries. It's quite cool.
It is cool.
It's really, really nice. In other news, what kind of did just happen today, which is very, very fresh news, our 8-year-old got her ears pierced.
Yes, she did.
It's really, really cute. So Scarlett is turning 9 when we are away, and we're traveling, but what happened with Olivia, who's the eldest, it's always like the eldest leads the ship. And we got Olivia's ears pierced for her 9th birthday. She hasn't decided to continue having her ears pierced, and that's another story for another podcast.
It didn't go well, basically.
Oh, no, we're not talking about it. But anyway, Scarlett got hers pierced today because we'll be traveling at that point. We don't know whether we're going to regret that or not, because getting them done before and the care of them whilst we're traveling, it might be a bit of an issue. I think it's going to be fine. But we went and got
She responded so well.
Yeah,
she was literally so happy.
Yeah.
It went like the initial thing of having them done, like the little bit of a shock factor happened.
Yeah.
But then within seconds, her face lit up.
When she saw herself in the mirror.
She couldn't believe it.
And we've got a big mirror in the front room. And as we came home, she's just been staring at the mirror. But yeah, that is what's new with us. I don't think there's anything else new with us. We're primed and ready to be going, even though we don't feel like we're primed and ready. We need to maybe think
we're getting there. You've got to be on the wind down. So we've got literally 7 days before we leave. And we've got to like sort the whole apartment out, put everything away. We put like dehumidifiers out because we leave it for a while, so it's quite very humid here in Penang. So we have all this like system that we follow, and literally for the next 7 daars we're going to be doing all that and putting it on a little bit of a lockdown, packing our clothes and rock and rolling. So yeah, that is the current situation with us. We are geared up and ready to go next week. We're feeling
we are totally
really
not.
We 35% ready to go next week. We're feeling really, really good about it, and don't underestimate us. We are we know what we're doing. We've got 7 days. We're on a breakdown to the trip. We're scheduled. We're planned.
Are you saying that we're on a breakdown?
We're not having a breakdown. We are breaking down the tasks, ready to leave and take it on. So that's where we are. Exciting. Into the main topic.
Okay, so
And this is like probably quite a personal chat between me and you. Everything we've been through.
it's personal, and I think there's points that probably both of us don't realise the other person has felt either. So going on the surface, and my answer to anyone that walked up to me in the street and they said, "Was it worth it?" I would go, "Yes." That's the end of the podcast. No, but that is my general overview. But
That's your general answer. Like,
Yes.
we gave up our whole lives as we knew it. We left everything and everyone behind. We did. And we went and came halfway across the planet and started this crazy journey. And how everything's been, do you regret it? Do you have any regrets?
That is an absolutely huge question. And regret wise, I think it's slightly, I've talked about this slightly a little bit before. I don't have any regrets about how I left work. Like, work was on a really lovely note. The school was on a lovely note. Friends were on a lovely note. Your side of the family was on a lovely note. But unfortunately, one of my main regrets is potentially that me and my family never really aligned on the thought process of what we were going to do.
Yeah.
That has been a underlining kind of thing that has happened the whole way through traveling. And just to give light on the notes that everyone knows, basically my parents didn't particularly understand why we were choosing to do what we were doing. And it hurt them, and they reacted in a way that it was really hard to deal with, going from being I'm their youngest daughter. We've got 3 children together, grandchildren that they looked after, and they just didn't really understand. So I think that my only regret would be potentially maybe me communicating better to them when we were first thinking about doing it, so they weren't as shocked, and leaving on a better note, because they were reacting in a certain way and I reacted in a certain way. We all kind of pulled away from each other, and it was time that was left that I could have spent time with them, enjoying time with them. And I have seen them since, and like, it is all okay, but that is probably my only regret, because the relationship hasn't healed. There's no animosity, but it's nowhere near the same.
Yeah, I think that the way that we left the UK, our lives, our jobs, our friends, I think everything was fine and good, and I don't really feel anything negative about that.
And you wouldn't do anything different either.
And I wouldn't do anything different. But I do think it has been difficult. The only difficulty has been your side of the family. And it has been a case of not like a bad feeling, but more like a sad feeling, really. It hasn't been a negative and bad. It's been more sad. And I do agree with that if we could have left in a slightly different way, or with them, if it had been resolved with them and okay with them before we'd have left, it'd have felt like we'd have ticked every box and we'd have left no stone unturned and we'd have been fine. But I do think that it was an emotional family thing, and that just happens. It's normal. We went back to the UK several months ago,
and it was fine. It was fine.
And it was really fine.
But
they
it was a
welcomed
bit of the unspoken.
Yeah, it was kind of unspoken about in a way, but then we were welcomed in with open arms, as always.
Yes.
It was really nice to see all of the family. It
was lovely.
And it almost felt like we hadn't left.
Yes.
It felt like we hadn't been gone.
It felt pre-telling them that we were deciding to do this.
Yeah.
Because before, when we first told them it, it had affected the relationship straight away from even telling them. So it was like pre-telling them. But I think that would be my only big regret on leaving the UK.
Yeah, not being right. It doesn't feel right in our heads.
Yeah.
But I do feel that we went back and we were welcomed with open arms, and it was really nice to see everybody. And we were treated no different.
No.
That we weren't made to feel negative in any way. It was actually really, really nice.
It was.
So that felt better, and it felt like slightly things had got better, but still, it's still like if you go back to that first phase of us leaving, and it is kind of the unspoken thing that we're kind of like aware and we're doing this stuff, but it is just how it is. We have chatted recently about looking into the future. Over a year, we are looking at going back to the UK a little bit more. So rooting back round, touching base in the UK a little bit more often. And that will be really good for everyone.
And hopefully then that can be like a period of time of that we see them, they get to see the girls, the girls get to see them. So I'm really hoping, but that's my only regret on leaving. What's yours? Do you have any regrets? Like, I don't think I know the answer to this. This is new to me. Because you're so positive about everything all the time.
Yeah. I think that if you were to look at the whole situation and think, we took the girls out of school and took the education of our children and their future into our own hands. We gave up our jobs, our careers, and completely went into full-on social media. We gave up our house, which is where we welcomed each of our children in. We moved in there before we got married, everything like that.
You proposed to me in that house.
I proposed to you in that house. Everything. We gave that up. And you could look at it and think, do I regret anything? But I don't, honestly, hand on my heart, I don't have any regrets whatsoever. I do, the only thing is your family and your parents mainly. But I do feel like that was a regret leaving in that way, but I do feel like when we went back, it was nice, and it felt like it kind of helped a little bit with that situation. So I definitely do feel better about that whole thing. I would personally look forward to returning back to the UK when we do eventually in the future, and going back again and seeing everyone. And I just feel like that helped a little bit with that situation. But I do feel like that when we left, that was the only real regret. It was the only thing that I felt sad about. Not bad, not angry, not negative, but I just felt sad about. But I do feel loads better about it now. Everything else, I have zero regrets whatsoever. And it just all feels pretty good.
So with having no regrets at all, it does not mean that we have not had times whilst we've been travelling and it getting tricky, that I can certainly speak for myself where I have said / shouted, I want to go back. I don't want to do this anymore. This is done.
In all fairness, let's be honest. I don't think you've ever said, I want to go back. You've definitely had moments that you've said to me that you don't want to continue. Have we ran its course? Has it come to an end? We can't continue going forward like this.
I don't think I've ever said it. I think I've always been shouting it.
Yeah, okay. You've raised the voice, but
and
you haven't.
What kind of time of the month is it when I raise my voice?
Usually the female time of the month. Potentially the week before that is when it kind of heats up a little bit. But I think that I don't ever recall you saying that you want to go back to the UK.
I think like I have my moments, and I think we'll go through the low moments and we'll be specific with that. But I think it's always that handing the towel in, but I don't think I've ever wanted to have my old life back. I've just thought it might be easier because sometimes things get really, really hard. And sometimes I just feel like I need someone else, a third party, to tell me you're doing okay. you're doing it right, you're not in your own bubble, and you're okay, Tamira, just keep going.
Yeah, I think that it is a case of, for me, I have felt along the lines of sometimes I've missed home. I've missed the UK sometimes. I don't hate the UK at all.
No.
I'm proud of where I'm from where I grew up, from Leeds, absolutely. I'm proud of where we as a family established ourselves and grew up together. I think that I'm proud of it all. I've got a bit of a sort of sad feeling again towards the UK, and certainly the way that it's sort of shaping up a little bit at the moment. And I hope that in the future it will get better. I really hope it will get better. It's not looking like the place that I would want to personally be at the moment.
Has there been points where you think, okay, I think we need to go back?
There's been points where I've missed home, and it's got tough, and I've, like you've said, it might feel like the option, maybe we have to go back, maybe we've got to stop what we're doing.
Okay, so can you tell me a specific time that you felt like this?
I'd say the most that I'd felt like it realistically was probably when we were really into Xinjiang in China. It was like the northwest of China, and it's not far from the border of Russia. And we went there, A, to experience it, but B, to film social media content, and mainly for our YouTube channel. And we'd been working prior to that, like 3 weeks before that, non-stop. And it wasn't the easiest. Yes, we had massive like highs, but it was tough work. It was quite relentless, and when you've got the children and you're moving on quickly, it gets quite hard. You get tired. So we made the decision to move on to Xinjiang, which we knew was an area that we would go and film, and it was an area of interest for that people would be interested in watching how we got on in that area.
So what made you feel that? So how?
I think by the time we got there, we were so exhausted and tired, and everyone was feeling like drained. And when you're in those positions and you look out at we stayed in a hotel, and to be fair, the hotel where we stayed was fine. The apartment where we were in, it had ample space. It was okay. But it was a really different area in China.
It was ridiculously hard to get food.
Yeah, it was so hard to get food.
Yeah, it was really. It was really tough for me to be able to provide 3 meals a day, because if it was just me and you would just load up on something
like noodles or snacks. If that was, because there's always a convenience store with snacks,
crisps and whatever. But when you've got 3 children, you've got to have the nutrients in there.
When you're talking about the children, that's when it gets hard, and it was hard to find food that we were okay with, and for those comfort moments. So when you're going through the period of like, this is hard, we are tired, we are worn out, we're not feeling on top of the world here, we're hungry, those comforts you look for, they give you a little bit of a uplift, and then you're ready to go again. But there it was particularly hard, and I just think I remember in those situations, you do think about home a little bit. You think about how easy it is just to get what you want, and you're far away from that life, and you end up thinking, really, if I put it in front of me, like I remember thinking, would I rather be here right now, or would I rather be in the UK? And I would have rather have been in the UK at certain points, and that is just how it was. But we were only there for 2 weeks. It was just at that moment in time, it was like, I would just rather be back at home right now. This is tough. It's hard. We can't get those moments that we want to make us feel better. We've just got to basically manage this situation.
I think what made that whole thing worse was the girls weren't really enjoying it.
No.
And the whole reason behind us doing this, of spending time with the girls and being with them and giving them some enriching life experiences. We had like lockdown in this room. Like, it was quite crazy, everything that was going on. And I think it was the first time we looked at the girls and we just went,
we're not enjoying it, they're not enjoying it.
They weren't enjoying it.
And it was hard. Those few days, we had a few days.
They have never, just to clarify, me and you have both said,
Yeah.
we should be going home, or I think we'd be better off going home. The girls have never said it.
Never, no. And they didn't say it then, but that was the first time that they weren't enjoying it. They were, clearly it was tough for us all.
Yes.
And you have those moments.
Yeah.
You have them in any life.
Yeah.
In the old life of work and school and
You think,
daily
you
stress.
need to get out, you need to
Yeah.
change something, do something.
You are-
Midlife crisis stuff.
It's a completely normal thing.
Yeah.
And we went through it there. And it turned out, work-wise, to be the right decision at that moment. But family-wise, probably not. But then when I look back on it,
No, having that down low,
yeah,
like the girl, we speak about it.
Yes.
And you then, it's a memory.
The
it's
experience.
a cool memory. Like, it wasn't miserable. No one was in pain. No one had
No.
problems. It was just a little bit miserable.
I could have gone back over the 1 week in Krabi. But when we were at the 1 week in Krabi where you were out of it with dengue fever, I didn't think about going home at that point. I just wanted you to be okay. And I was actually fully on the girls, and we were doing it. We were all right, but that was hard and stressful. But that moment in Xinjiang was difficult.
And it's been a longer period. We've gone over the year.
Yeah, we'd gone over the year. It was tough. But just to put it in perspective, one of the situations we had, for example, if you're thinking about food, obviously for our content and for the experience, we want to try some of the local stuff. And food up there is different to other parts of China. So we went through the local market. We've got to tell everyone.
I know
gotta
the
tell
story. I know a story. Okay. So the food was very different up there. A lot of pastries with a lot of sheep meat in it.
It's lamb.
Lamb.
Yeah,
And
their meat, their area, their food is lamb-based food.
And it was great. It was all different food. We got all excited about it. It was super cheap. So we were just like scanning the WeChat and paying for like hardly anything for this food. And then I was like, I felt really confident. I don't know why. I saw loads of stalls with it, and it looked like this mashed potato thing with like sausages, and it's on a display, and it just kind of looks like that.
And they're cooking it up in a massive batch.
Yeah.
And steam's coming off it, and it looks
and we're
good.
cold. It was quite cold up
Yeah.
there. And I just remember going, oh yeah, I'm going to try that.
Now,
Because also the language barrier was different up there, because
Yeah.
it wasn't full on Mandarin or Chinese.
It was Uyghur.
Yeah.
They spoke a language called Uyghur. And if we were in Germany, it probably would have been sausage and mash.
Okay. Anyway, let me carry on, because I basically ate it.
Yes.
And the girls did as well. And it was like
We all tried a bit.
We all tried a bit, and it was like but I
You ate the majority of the whole
Oh
thing.
God, don't! It's making me feel bad eating it. But then I ate it all, and it's fine. I filmed a TikTok on it. It was all worth it. I was actually hungry, and I did. It was all right. It didn't really taste of much. And that was fine. Filmed the TikTok, put it up. It's like, not sure what I've just eaten, blah, blah, blah. And then we went to bed, and I woke up itchy
Yeah.
in like
So
every area of my body was itchy.
Tamira was in the shower
Yes.
and shouted me. I was like still in bed. She shouted me in, and she was like itching all over, and said that it was like under your skin.
Yes.
And I was like, oh no, we're back like to the crabby
No,
dynamo.
it wasn't that.
Because you were like, I didn't know
I
what
was
to
so
do.
confused. I couldn't control it. I had to get in the shower. I had a cold shower on me. I was like, it's rubbing off whatever reaction there is on my skin.
From head to toe.
Head to toe. My whole scalp was itchy. My feet were itchy. My belly was itchy. Everything was itchy. And I said to Chris, can you see if there is any rash on me?
And there was zero rash.
I was redder.
You were ready, but
I
you
was
were
flushed,
itching.
yeah.
You were really itching.
Yeah.
And I thought, is it food poisoning? Are you having a bad reaction? And you were just itching and panicking.
I was so itchy, but you know when you scratch an area that's itchy and it doesn't release that urge. You know when you ask someone to scratch your back because there's a scratch that you can't reach, and they finally
And you're
hit the
finally
spot,
relieved.
and you're like, oh, that feels so much better. I literally was so itchy. I was itching the spot, and it wasn't fixing. And anyway, I managed to go back to bed. I think I took an antihistamine.
Antihistamine.
I
You
took
had an antihistamine.
Okay, I took
And-
one of those things that I can't pronounce right now, and then I took a paracetamol and laid back down in bed, and it kind of eased off a little bit.
Yeah.
But later on, I still had the red feet burning. Checked TikTok, and lo and behold, I'd eaten sheep's intestines stuffed with rice and sheep's lungs.
Sheep's lungs. So like these things that look
The
like,
mashed potato was the sheep's lungs.
yeah, it looked like chunks of mashed potato, and they were sheep's lungs. So we were already feeling tired and like exhausted, worn out, not the best, and then this kind of stuff was happening. So it was tough. It was tough, and that was probably the toughest moment for me, and a crossroads of, okay, I think I would rather be in the UK right now than here feeling like this. But again, we turned it around. What about you? What's been your darkest hour?
There has been, not darkest hour, but there's been many dark hours. There's so many things that go wrong whilst we're traveling around, and it comes to like travel day, and there's so many things that go wrong. We've had basically Olivia has fallen on her arm, and he snapped it in half and ripped all her tendons and looked horrific. We've had Bella having to go into hospital in Chiang Mai. We've had Scarlett being sick whilst we're getting on a boat going to Koh Samui. We've had it all. We've had moments that are absolutely horrific. I don't know how we pull through, but some kind of will gets through.
Yeah.
And not just us, the girls as well.
Yeah, all of us, we get through.
My point is like going back quite far, and I'd say it was our first Christmas away. And it was our first time. It was 6 months away from the UK, and we were having Christmas away. We had decided that we didn't want to be in the UK for Christmas anymore, and we had chosen the Philippines because it's a Catholic country.
It's a Christian country.
Yeah.
It's a Christian country.
A Christian country.
Yeah.
And we decided we're going to go there because it's going to be celebrating Christmas. They're known for it. They celebrate from September all the way through. And I remember choosing our accommodation. We went bigger, way bigger on the budget for this place because I was like, it's Christmas, we'll put the money towards it. So normally, putting in perspective, we normally pay £35 per night. We went up to £80 per night for this location and this apartment, and we were all looking forward to it. We've gone fast through Vietnam. It was time to just rest up, and we've got a whole month in this place to really show girls Christmas abroad. And I felt really quite emotional about it, really like gunning for it, like this is going to be a good Christmas. And we got there and arrived, and it was the worst apartment we've ever walked into. It was rancid of smoke. The kitchen was filthy and like a pocket.
It was so hellish.
The wooden bunk beds that were in the photo were metal ones that did not look safe.
We had wires hanging out of the walls.
Yes, the aircon was like hanging off the wall. Our bed was just a metal, flimsy single bed.
And the mattress was old.
Oh no, I don't want to think
The
about it.
view from the room was of a slum.
It was terrible, basically, and it stank, and it was really filthy. You know, when you breathe in, it feels like
It was dangerous.
it was bad. So it was the first time that we just went, we're not staying here, and we had nearly tripled our budget on that for the month. And luckily, we just packed up and went out, and we went to this hotel that cost us an arm, a leg, a head.
It was beautiful.
A shoe, most of our savings.
It was Somerset. So if you know the brand Somerset, in
was
Manila,
Somerset.
in
It
the
was
Philippines,
Somerset Apartments.
and it was beautiful.
It
But it went from like triple the budget to like times 6 the budget.
Right, it did, but we needed it and we felt safe
Yeah.
because we did not feel safe in the other place. There was quite a lot of crime about as well. So we're there, we're in Somerset, and then we're making the decision of like, do we stay there? Do we take the massive, huge amount of hit for Christmas being in this hotel because we felt safe and it was really, really nice. And then we saw, lo and behold, comments on our social media that Manila was the worst place to spend your Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget going up on the treadmill. It was 9:30 at night, and I stress ran a 5K, and I was like, cannot do this for the children. We've ruined Christmas. This is horrific, absolutely terrible. We're getting out of Manila and we're going to an island. Like, or we'll just be better off back at home. Like, this is awful. It's horrific. And then we decided to do it. We all put the money in to go to Boracay. And moving around the Philippines is difficult. You don't jump on a flight. You don't just do whatever. There's always these bits in between. So it was tricky planning to get there, but we planned to get there. It was all good. We were all hands on and all good. And the night that we were leaving, Chris had a sky high temperature.
I did. And we were in the real nice apartments.
Yes.
It was like a residence, Somerset residences, and we only ended up staying there for like 3 nights because we got out and went to Boracay. But yeah, the night before I had a temperature, and I got up the next morning and I was
No, we weren't up in the morning. We were
rough.
up at like 4.
Yeah.
It was really
there.
early to get there. We had to pack up the hotel room, well, the apartment, and then we had to jump, and we went on a flight. And then I think we had to then get on a bus, onto a boat. Mm-hmm.
There was a flight, a bus, a boat, and then
another bus.
And a mini taxi bus.
In between this as well, you had to negotiate prices and everything. Chris was really, really sick, really bad. And you weren't sick. You had a temperature, basically. And we were moving, we were going along, and I massively rely on you when we're traveling with the amount of luggage to carry that, especially when we're doing boat, car and everything. And I've got the girls. We work as a team like that. Chris has the luggage and the paperwork. I have the girls. Basically, you do everything.
I'm basically conducting the whole travel day.
Yeah. So basically, Chris was out of it, but you pulled through by skin of your teeth, and you got through, and we got there. And I remember we got in the last taxi dry thing, and you had your hands, your head in your hands, and you were just done. You knew that we were getting there. And luckily, the accommodation was great. We went in, and then you just passed out. And at this point, we'd run out of paracetamol. We were in Boracay. I had 3 children. Bella was in the buggy, and we had no money. So I went 5 minutes down the road to the cash machine, and it wasn't working. So I then walked for 45 minutes with the children, with dogs all over the road.
On an island that you'd never been to before and you didn't know.
Yeah, and I walked all the way there, these 3 children, and found a hole in the wall in the smallest mall you could ever find, and it worked. I got some money out and got you paracetamol, and then I had to get this e-trike thing because on this island they don't have any petrol cars. I had to find an e-trike. He kind of got quite a lot of money out of me because I had no idea what I was doing, and I got back and I gave you the paracetamol, and it all got better. But in moments of me pushing the buggy, holding onto the girls, stray dogs running about, and it's Christmas time, and we had no anything in, nothing. There was no turkey, no nothing. We'd just made this split decision. I was like, what am I doing to these poor girls? Take me back to when I'm putting flour around my foot to put Santa Claus footprints and the
Christmas traditions
and all of that. And it was the point where I was like, what am I doing? And that was a personal moment to me. I remember walking there, just being like, what am I doing to the
asking
children?
yourself the question.
Yeah.
But Christmas was saved.
It was great. It was
We
great.
ended up doing a
Yeah.
collaboration with a great hotel, the
Yeah.
Savoy in Boracay.
Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful in the end.
It was so good, but that's a moment of like it was so hard, and we forget that because that's right early days that, and it was really hard. It was our first Christmas not being here, and it was you want to make it as parents so special, and
it wasn't working
it
out.
wasn't working. It weren't working. You did get better. Everything was
We
fine.
did it in the end.
But wow, the road to getting there, you really have to have your head in the right. Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was my elbow. You really have to be really strong and just go. Things always do get better. And if things were good all the time, you wouldn't appreciate the goodness. And
you go through these moments, but then it is going to be okay. And you've just got to keep strong.
Yeah.
And you, as parents and your children, you need to install that into them. And as a unit together, you will be fine. You will do it.
Yes.
And it's happened to us every single time.
Yeah. I've just picked out one point there.
Yeah.
There's been loads of points.
Yeah. So we talked about our lowest lows on this journey, and they were just two examples. And yeah, we've answered. We have zero regrets. Apart from the one, but we've kind of like ironed it out a little bit, and it feels okay. So we are in an exceptional place. We feel so good, and there's no real point in us going into the super highs because we've talked about some of them in the past few episodes, and they're pretty much all on our YouTube channel. So if you want to see some of that stuff, have a look on our YouTube channel. All the content is there, and yeah. Being on the Great Wall was one of them. The collaboration at Christmas with in Boracay was one of them. We had a fantastic time. We've had some incredible times, and they are all on our YouTube channel. So there's massive highs, there's lows, but it has been one epic journey so far, and we are just about 1 month into year 3, which is exciting.
So we have been asking all throughout the week. Well, not all throughout the week. That's ridiculous. One day this week.
A few days ago.
We asked for any questions at all. We asked for little prompts on what you might want to know about and whatever else. And the response has been absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
I have said as well that we will shout out these people that have asked these questions as well. Chris is in control of the phone that has all of the questions. We're going to answer as many as we possibly can, and answer as truthfully and as directly as we can, and try not to waffle.
So the first question is
Who's it
from somebody called Sophia Manners.
Okay.
And the question, it says, traveling with kiddies, the best parts and the hardest parts. We are thinking of pulling our 3 eldest out of school to travel, but our youngest is only just turning 2. Would it be tricky with the baby stuff, pram and nappies? And love watching your adventures, and thanks for inspiring us. So that's really nice. But basically, would it be difficult with children in general? And her youngest is 2.
Her youngest is 2, or her eldest is 2?
Her youngest is 2.
Okay. Where I'd go with this is it's something that, because we'd been on holiday with the girls, and there are parts like you do see it when you go, I need a holiday from that holiday, because what you do effectively is you take the children out of their routine that they're doing, their usual. It's all exciting. They're having way more sugar. Bedtime's a little bit later. Mummy and daddy are around all the time. It's really exciting. And it blows their mind for about a week, and their moods are also blown. They have the highs, they have the tantrums, they go nuts, and you feel like you're banging your head against the door by the time that you're getting back, and you're going, whoa, I need a little bit of a break now, but I've got to go straight back to work. Now, when you're traveling, this is not what happens at all. Children adapt really fast, and you create a routine around how you deal with things, and the children slot into this lovely, and they get used to things really easily. Going to the airport is pretty exciting for them still, but they pretty much know what they're doing. They know the procedure, and it's really quite easy. Now, Bella was over 2, nearly 3 when we left. In a month or 2 times, she turned 3. We had an awful, terrible plane journey back from Rome, Italy, which was our trial of educating the girls whilst traveling. And they were like world schooling whilst we were there. They had a journal and we were doing stuff with them. Bella was shy of 2, so her seat was free on the aeroplane, and that meant she sat on my lap. And on the way back, she screamed for the whole 2 hours.
This was directly a year before we fully left. So she was 1 coming up to 2.
Yes.
And we left when she was 2 coming up to 3. So this was 12 months before.
Yes.
It was like our little trial, and we did 5 nights in Rome.
Yes. And everything went really, really well. But that travel time was absolutely... That flight
Oh, it was bad.
is burnt in my memory. But like I said, you're taking them out of the norm. Like now, traveling, I do not bat an eyelid at Bella or am concerned about it. We left with a buggy. She was in nappies at night time. Now, all of this stuff is readily available everywhere. I've seen nappies everywhere. I've seen formula everywhere. It is actually readily available everywhere. So I genuinely would say that traveling with children, it feels really overwhelming because you're about to break the norm. But actually, when you break that norm, it's actually really, really enjoyable, and children really adapt and respond positively to actually spending time around their siblings and their parents.
Yep, and you find a new norm.
Yes.
And with the buggy, we had the buggy up until when? When did we get rid of it?
About a year in.
Yeah.
It was 9 months in, and we got rid of it because actually we started using it as carrying all of the bags, and actually Bella wasn't in it.
Bella, because we were obviously traveling full time and we were all walking a lot of places, Bella was walking quite a bit.
She's a walker though. She wanted to walk, but actually taking the pram around was actually fine, and a baby holder and stuff like that.
And if she got tired, she went in the buggy.
Or I would carry her. I carried her quite a lot.
I think it's absolutely fine. We travelled basically with a 2/3 year old, and there was no problem. Next question. This one is from Jacqueline. Hi. At the end of the year, I'm going to Malaysia, where I've been before, but looking to also go to either Vietnam or the Philippines. I'm a solo female traveller. As a family, did you find them both safe and lots of things to do? Or is there somewhere else you would recommend I try?
Okay, I'm going to go with a massive positive that Vietnam was really something that blew our minds and was absolutely amazing, and there were so many different things to do, and it felt really, really safe. And as a solo traveler, I think I've actually seen on social media quite a lot of solo travelers do Vietnam, and I think that is really accommodating. Now, going to the Philippines, I think there's so much to do there. Beautiful beaches. Now, I don't know, because we travelled as a family, of like the karaoke and going to bars and stuff like that, because we didn't do any of that because we've got the 3 children. But I don't know if that'll be a part that you would like as a solo traveller, to meet other people and whatever like that. But I would probably sway more to Vietnam, because there was only one point in the Philippines that I wasn't comfortable, and that was we were in Manila, and I'd go to 7-Eleven. I felt extremely uncomfortable going in and out of there.
Yeah, I think, that's like we spoke about.
Because it was at night time when I did that as well, and I felt quite uncomfortable.
That was like when we first arrived for that Christmas period that we talked about, the low point. And like Manila's probably the most sort of time where we felt slightly at risk of such. But there are very, very nice parts of Manila as well, like the BGC area. There's a lot to do in the Philippines and some absolutely incredibly beautiful places.
Yes.
But it is harder to get around the Philippines because they're all like really small islands, so you've got to take flights and boats, whereas Vietnam's easier to get around, and there is so much in Vietnam. I would say the standalone place out of those is Vietnam. That's my personal opinion.
I'd agree, but again, we're traveling as a family, and Philippines, jumping on boats, going on different island hopping, is easier when you haven't got a suitcase and 3 children with you. So, you know.
Both places, absolutely incredible. But I think that we would recommend Vietnam. it's really special. Loads to do. Out of the countries on the list, which top 3 would we return to first out of the countries that we've been to? So which countries would we return to first out of all of them?
Oh my goodness, this is absolutely huge.
It is. It can't include Malaysia because we basically have this as our base.
We have a base here, so this is obviously for us.
One, basically.
We've chose this area. So Malaysia's number 1.
Yes.
Malaysia's number 1 because we reside here and like this is where we are. Then I'd say that to go back to experience
first, which one would you go back to first? So Malaysia, we're going to choose as number 1 because it's where we always return to. What comes in number 2 if you could go out any place out of all of them that we've been to?
Oh, I think like Australia. I want to do the tour in Australia. I don't feel like we've done Australia properly.
So that's your number 2.
That's my number 2. And then I would say that my number 3 is out of, Southeast Asia. I would say that Vietnam's pretty much up there, but then I feel like we did quite a lot of Vietnam. So I'm like, what would I experience more there?
Yeah.
But I think Da Nang has got something in Vietnam that we didn't fully do. So I would say Australia to go see the East Coast. And I would say that Vietnam, Da Nang, because it's livable, culture's there, it's pretty cool. That's what I'd say.
I wouldn't argue with that, but I would also throw South Korea in the hat.
Ooh, and Japan.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really do Japan.
But South Korea I particularly enjoyed.
We did really enjoy South Korea.
Yes.
Okay, there's your answer there.
That's in the
We're
hat.
a bit all over the place.
Yeah. Question from Towers Social. We see a lot of younger kids travelling. Are there any that are 10 years and up?
Yes. So the girl's are actually friends with another family that have older children.
Yep.
And I think she's just 16, one of the older ones, and 12, the other one.
Yep.
And they're just travelling around. And yeah, that's a group. We find quite a few of them older travelling around, actually being in the residence of where we are here.
Yeah.
We see quite a few coming around that are a lot older that are travelling with their parents. So yeah, the answer is yes.
Misfit Female Fitness. Do you ever see travel families with just one child?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it depends on anyone's family circumstances. We've also seen like single parents, or not necessarily single, but a parent on their own with their children.
Travelling whilst the other one's working.
Yeah, travelling while the other one's working.
I think the main thing, because those questions kind of go hand in hand, I think we've covered this before, but actually you don't realise how many people are travelling and see it as a second nature until you're out here and you see so many people that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, when you're doing it, I mean, we've obviously got
all different ages, all different relationships, circumstance, remarried, split up whilst travelling with men, and they're still continuing travelling. There's loads. They're all around.
And also, we've got obviously 3 girls of each of the different ages, 1 over 10, the 2 under, but obviously Bella's quite a bit younger. So we've met loads of different types of families and different situations with older children, younger children, couples. So you see, when you get out and you're out and about traveling and meet people and get in the communities, you just meet loads of different people and from all different life situations. Lynn's 89. Daily routines. Do you have them, and do you do big family days out, or is every day just fun?
Every day is fun with tears and arguments in between. No, no, we have a massive routine, and we have like a travel routine. When we're on travel periods of time, we have a routine of where a filming day is, which is normally when we're going and experiencing something as a family. And we have an edit day where me and the girls have girl time. You're normally editing a YouTube video. That kind of is like our travel kind of like routine. When we're more based, we are really routined, pretty much back to back, like we're at work Monday to Friday. The girls are schooling Monday to Friday, but we do have those fun days.
And the benefits of living here and abroad in typically holiday touristy destinations is that you around your routine, you're building those little treats, those times by the swimming pool.
Yeah.
You go to the mall, you go out for food, and you have those holiday moments. And that's one thing that we really do build into our routine.
Yes.
And it just feels great.
Because we lived like two different lives.
Yeah.
If you think of it, that's what it's developed into now, going into year 3 of we've got a base where we're kind of living like as if we were living in the UK, but we've emigrated, if you can call it that as such. We're kind of doing that, but homeschooling over here. And then you've got, when we're on a travel period, we're still very routine and very planned out. We're not just like, oh, we'll go do this. We're very routine, planned out. We know what we're going to be doing. So yes, there is a routine. And when routine's gone out the window, we all are a little bit lost.
Question about content. What do you use to film and edit your videos? How long does it take typically to edit a video? So we've got loads of different cameras.
So I'm going to go with what I mainly use.
Yeah, you do for short form.
For short form, for TikTok, Instagram, Reels, videos, stories, I will edit on CapCut. And I will just get that done quite quickly. If it is, I've done a mini vlog on a short form, it might take me about an hour to edit. If I've done a really fast one, it can literally go as minimal as like 5 minutes to sort it out and put the stuff on.
But you just record on the iPhone.
Yes.
And it's just literally make sure it's in 4K. We don't use the camera that is on the front of the phone.
So it's never a reflection of us.
Yeah.
It is actually what you see of us. We turn the phone.
We turn the phone around and we film with the cameras on the back because they're obviously the best cameras.
Yeah, and also it's better to actually not be looking at yourself while you're talking.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get a bit self-conscious.
So that's how we film TikToks and short form content. For the YouTube videos, it's actually, there's loads more cameras and loads of options that we've got. We do have a big DSLR camera, which is a Canon, but that's really quite a big bit of kit and it's quite complex, so it shoots really sort of high quality images.
And you have different lenses
and stuff like that. So that's how, like, it depends with videos like YouTube videos how creative you want to be. If you want to just film a vlog, you could just have a standard camera, and we have the DJI Pocket 3, and that's like on a little gimbal, and it's just so easy to carry around and vlog with. So we use that now, where we used to use the big DSLR Canon, but it just was too big, so we changed to a handheld. But you've got your phone, you've got action cameras like GoPros, we've got an Insta360, we've got everything.
And you've also got a drone
We've got a drone as well, but again, that's because sometimes we like to be a bit more creative and create different shots. So we've got all the different options, but basically to make a YouTube video, all you need is one camera, and you can do everything with that. But obviously the more options you have, the more creative you can be, and that's what we've got and we've accumulated throughout the time. I personally edit on Final Cut Pro, which is on Apple, and it can take me probably 4 to 5 hours to edit a full video, maybe slightly longer depending on how complex it is, and then there's rendering it and then uploading it, which adds on, and doing the thumbnail. So doing YouTube videos takes a long time.
We'd normally factor out a day.
Yeah, I have edit days,
Yeah.
Because there's everything around it. So definitely doing the long form videos is more of a challenge and more time consuming than the short form, but that's what we do. We do multiple platforms. Okay, a few more questions because it's edging towards the doom time of 2:30 in the morning. It's getting there and we're tired. So, friends of ours, McClarty Travels. If you could pick one country to visit which you haven't been to yet, which would it be?
Oh, I think we actually had like a random conversation the other day at dinner time, as per normal, and I'm going to go something absolutely ballistic that I said that I want to do, and I want to go to Antarctica.
Yes, that's an incredible answer. I think personally that we, as a family, to achieve that would be absolutely incredible.
I think it'd be insane. It's there. You've asked me if any country at all.
Yeah.
I saw it at the bottom of the globe, and I was like, I want to go there.
Here's a question though. Is Antarctica a country or a continent?
I have no idea.
I think it's a continent.
No, anyway, I've taken my answer. Go on, go
Yes.
with yours.
Okay. Mine's a
the
bit.
big one.
Mine's a bit of a cop out because me and Tamara visited there before, but not on this path of our lives. We have visited there before though, but we haven't as a family of 5, and we haven't as the Hutchinsons. The girls haven't been there, and I want to take on the United States of America. I want to go around, travel around the whole place, taking it in. That is on the list, and it is on the girls' list as well. Okay.
I would love to do America, actually.
Yes. Last couple.
Okay.
The Roaming Rascals, more friends of ours. Out of all of the places you have been to, where surprised you the most?
Where surprised me the
I
most?
think we've both got the same answer on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know now. Go on, you answer first then.
Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. I'm between Vietnam and China.
Okay.
I just didn't want to mention China more because we did a whole podcast on it, but China really surprised me. But yes, Vietnam was on the route of Southeast Asia. Everyone does all of these Southeast Asia kind of countries, and we weren't really expecting.
We didn't know what to expect. It was like
culture,
Yeah.
the food, the people, and the amount of pets. And it was just really, really insane.
Vietnam was incredibly surprising.
Yeah,
big
the
fond memories.
tunnels and everything, the history and everything. It was absolutely really special, and it shocked us the most because I was ready to gear up for this faster kind of travel period that we hadn't done as of yet, because we were going faster through, like we were like weeks in places, and then we did like a cruise along Halong Bay, which we were only there for 3 nights.
Which was very, very good.
And that was a collaboration as well. That was pretty good. And that, you know, we were going really fast. It's the first time we had pushed it, and I was really worried. And I thought we were going in, and then we're coming out. Okay, we're going to buckle in.
We're going to go get the job done. We're going to experience as much as we can, film as much as we can, but we're in, and we don't know what to expect. But we were very, very surprised, and we feel very fondly about Vietnam.
Yes. So that is the country that did shock us the most when we were arriving. I think China also shocked us.
Yeah.
But I think with China, we were more open-minded because it's a little bit of the unknown, and you don't really know what it's going to be like. So they go,
Last question. Let's leave this as the last question then. How do we get brand deals, and do we ever turn them down?
I'm going to say do we ever turn them down? And the answer is yes. If they don't fit in with what we believe that we want to promote, we say no.
If it doesn't fit with us.
If it doesn't fit with us. So if it's something that we don't really believe in. Number 2, we kind of turn them away if it's not going to work. It just looks like we're selling something, and it's like we're there going, oh, actually do this. And it doesn't go in line with what our content's doing.
Yeah.
And we turn them away if the money's not good.
Yeah, if they're
asking for too much.
Yeah, and you do get that. And you one thing that I've learned, and we've learned over the couple of years, is you just really need to know your worth. And we've met so many people along the way, so many people giving us advice and stuff. You just need to know your worth, because big companies, they do take advantage, and they do want so much, and they will try and undercut you and everything like that. And we're obviously quite experienced with it, and we do often, if we don't feel that we're being sort of given what we deserve, we know what other companies we work with, and what we've managed to do, and you just end up working out. You get to get the experience, and you know. So yeah, we would turn that down. Just recently, we've turned down one that was quite a good amount of income, and it was a big question mark for us. But we decided not to go ahead with it just because it just didn't seem right. And we want to be putting the collaborations in and promoting things that we personally do use and personally would recommend to other people.
Or not if we don't use it. We don't 100% use things sometimes, but it will be useful to other people, and we believe that they're useful, and giving a hand out rather than kind of going, oh, we think this is really good, and going, but we would never use that. Like, you know, that's kind of like
we'd never take something that we don't use. This particularly particular company that approached us, we do use their services sometimes, but more so in the past, but we didn't want to promote.
I
It
think
didn't really fit with us and our content, so we just decided to turn it down.
And it was hard. Chris
it was
is feeling
hard.
very sore about it because
No,
it's
I'm
a
not-
big chunk of money.
I'm not feeling so.
You've
I'm
just
not
gone
feeling
on. Look, I've already covered, but it doesn't fit in line with what we're doing. But you're all there talking about the fact that we just said no to a load of. We did say no to a load of money.
Yeah, but the thing is
Think how many pairs of trainers you could have bought with that money.
but I think the thing is to be aware that you just have to be wise in what you're doing. If you're a content creator, creating social media, and you're building an audience and you want a loyal, engaged audience, you need to be honest with that audience, and that involves not selling and promoting things that you wouldn't necessarily agree with. That's all I was saying. That happened to us very recently.
We don't sell our soul, basically.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that we're 100% using it. It's just something
Yeah.
that we would promote to use.
In terms of getting brand deals, we from the start have never had like an agent or a company doing outreach for us and securing us brand deals on our Western platforms. We already spoke about China. That was our last episode. And yes, we do have a company representing us in China that does that for us. But on our main platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, we don't have anybody representing us in that way. We did for like 1 month on a trial and it just didn't work out. And we've had a lot of other agencies in between now and when we left contact us, and we've just not gone ahead with it. And that's because the companies come to us directly. So we deal with all brand deals personally directly. It's me on the emails, and I just negotiate and secure the brand deals. Now, what happens is when you start building an audience and getting traction, the main thing is you need to have your point of contact on display. So you can have that in your YouTube description, have that in your Instagram bio, have it in your TikTok bio. You need your email address, your contact point available at all times. So if somebody goes on and watches a particular piece of content of yours that they like and they might be interested to working with you, they need to be able to contact you. And we never really get collaboration offers, official offers through DMs and messages. The odd one. But it all comes official through email, and it's from people working in different departments, their marketing department, digital department, social media, and it all comes via email, and it's all pretty professional. But that is how we get brand deals. They come to us directly, and it is a little bit of a snowball effect. The more you grow, the more that people see that brands are working with you, and the bigger those brands are, the more likely you're going to get more
and reoccurring brands
and
as
reoccurring.
well. So if you do a really good job, it's more than likely that marketing team's going to reach out to you when they're doing another.
Yes, and we've had that loads of times.
Yeah.
And one of our goals was, when we first set off, was to try and secure a brand to sponsor us a bit longer term. We've had several long-term brand deals, which has been fantastic. We're talking like 3-4 videos that they'd sponsor us for, and we're just on the verge of securing a 12-month.
Don't talk about it.
12 months.
You'll jinx it.
It's not set in stone yet, but we're on the verge of securing a 12-month full-time sponsor, which we're so excited about. It's a huge goal. But yeah, it happens. So that's how we get brand deals. We do turn them down.
I think that's it with brand deals. I think like sometimes, not with just brand deals, but collaborations, we can sometimes lack a bit. We're a little bit, we don't often ask for things, and sometimes 9 times out of 10 we've been somewhere and people invite us to go do something in exchange for a video, and we forget and we've moved on. And
we don't do any outreach.
We do a minuscule amount.
Very, very small.
That's my job to do.
Yeah, we don't do any outreach at all. And like, we do go to a place, and if we're there for a very short period of time and we blow up in that place, we do some viral stuff, we will get a lot of opportunities and offers, but then it's a bit too late. Whereas if we're there for a couple of weeks to a month, we might then like get the offers and take them.
Do it.
Yeah.
I think that also goes with like more on outreach. We've done more collaborations on outreach rather than we have not actually walked and talked to a big company and presented ourselves, which is something that we might move into later down the line. But at the moment, we're not needing to do it because actually we're a little bit struck from things. We've got a bit too much going on at the moment.
Yeah, a lot. Got a lot going on. We're super excited. And that's it. I think that is going to round up the final episode of season 1 of the Dare to Venture podcast. I really, really hope you have enjoyed listening to us. You've got something out of it. You've learned something. We've answered some questions. You've gained some information. And we have really, really enjoyed doing this. This has been different for us. We're used to our YouTube videos. We're used to our TikToks. But actually sitting down and doing this sort of formal podcast chat.
I think it kind of acts like therapy a little bit, but I think that we will be changing how we do the podcast going forward. We've got some really exciting ideas for the next series. So we're really happy with that. We've really enjoyed doing this one. It's kind of been late night chatting. Late night with Chris and Tamir.
Yeah, that's it.
I feel like as we do this, my voice gets like really
bit more croakier.
Yeah.
Because it's 2:30 in the morning.
Well, actually, it is now 25 to 3.
Wow.
Okay. So we are going to finish up here, but we have really enjoyed doing this series, and it's kind of really good for us to rethink about, because some countries I forget experiences that we've done. I've really enjoyed doing Destination Spin. We haven't done it this week because we've answered more comments, but I've liked the fact of like it picks a country and you remember, oh, I actually went to that country.
You start to dive into it a little bit more, and it brings the feelings back.
Like even talking about the Philippines and Christmas, it like brings all that back, and that's what it's all about. It wasn't that long ago, but you forget things because other things then go over the top of that. So this has been really good for us, and I'm hoping that you, if you're listening in your car, if you're listening whilst you're cleaning the house, if you're listening as you're driving to work, you know, thank you. We really hope you've got something out of this, because we definitely have.
Yes, we have. And if you haven't yet, please leave us a 5-star review. Give us some comments on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Leave us some comments. It really means a lot. We hope you've enjoyed season 1. It's been a bit more of our backstory and giving more information. Hopefully you've got to know us a little bit more. And coming in season 2 later on this year will be a little bit different. Some really cool ideas for the next season. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. But for now, it is goodbye from us.
Bye.
Bye.